Hello everyone, good morning. So let us start with today's news analysis. So starting with, there are few articles, already we are late, so we have to cover a lot of articles. So starting with open book test. Yesterday we have discussed about the open book test, which will be going to be start from 2026 for the 9th class students. Or now the question arises from this particular topic, why it is important from UPSC perspective. What are the possible questions or things which can be asked from this particular initiative? For example, mains perspective, they can ask you these open book tests are beneficial or not, because it seems easy, it seems ki theek hai, it's very easy to study and it's very easy to read the particular content, book सामने रहेगी and you can write the context, but the thing is that it's equally hard क्योंकि आपको पता नहीं होता कि कहाँ से जाके you have to search that particular question, कहाँ से किस section से question will be asked. So it's a time taking process, but the thing is that why this particular thing is applicable, will going to apply on the 9th class CBSE students, because it's actually discussed with the teachers and teachers had agreed to this particular initiative to implement an open book test for the 9th class students or 9th NCERT students, CBSE students. Now they also believe that this open book test will going to improve the critical thinking and analysis part of the students, because it is believed that कि बहुत ज़्यादा students are into memorizing and mugging up of the things. So ये जो एक monotonous cycle है of just mugging up and पढ़ के पास होने वाला है concept वाला, वो थोड़ा सा कुछ हद तक कम होगा. But according to me and according to various scholars, they believe that this will not going to impact positively in the system, because this is not the first time जो ये implement हो रहा है. It has already been implemented earlier for the 11th class also. So it was not that much effective. That's why in 2017 and 18 they have they have actually roll back this particular initiative which has taken by the authorities. Same for the NCERT students. So now it is important ki what is open book test. CBSE, that is Central Board of Secondary Education, is going to introduce open book assessments in class 9th from 2026 and 27. So the particular individual who will be in 2026 and 27 in the batch of 9th class, they might face this particular, they might experience this kind of experience of open book assessment or open book examination. Now what is open book? Under this open book, we actually the individual will be provided a question paper. Question paper के साथ the individual have authority to open different books and answer that particular question from that area. Now this open book test is not something which is very new. This kind of initiative already followed in Hong Kong, UK and USA. In fact, are in colleges, in college examination, some of the college examination, even of the Bar Council examination, this particular kind of a open book test is concluded. But this is one of the initiative which we are experimenting on the school level also. College level पे है, examinations level पे है. Hong Kong, UK, USA already practicing this initiative, but school level पे how much it will be effective वो देखना बहुत ज़्यादा important है, because we have already failed once in this particular initiative. So it allows student to use approved resources like textbooks, class notes or other specified or materials during an assessment rather than mainly testing the memory. Now the main challenge is to finding the relevant information, understanding it and applying it to solve the problem. बोले कि ये नहीं है कि अब ऐसा थोड़ा है कि directly questions उठा के you have written there. So they are actually in a solution कि आप how much you're analytical, how can you analyze the questions. So there are chances कि the questions will also be not easy or direct. So question will be also something like a analytical, जहाँ से you have to go and see the resources and you have to analyze the particular content कि is this content is suitable for solving my question or not. That's why majority of this kind of initiative or open book kind of a test is used for mathematics and science में, because the technological part of these or the particular क्या बोलते हैं concept part or the sum part में we required these kind of a lot number of books are required for the particular concepts. So that's why this thing was used actually in school level also. It was used for maths perspective, but it failed. That's why we say that कि this initiative is good for the higher studies or college level. School level में individual is just in a grooming phase. How can you expect that कि वो इस तरीके से they will going to react? But still now again we are in experiment phase. Let's see क्या होता है. So but the main challenge is finding the relevant information. This is the challenge, but here they are saying that it will going to help the individual to work on the analytical skills and reasoning pe kaam hoga. This thing will be going to improve. We can understand how much the sharp individual thing, like individual mind, is working to find out the things. So this is one of the purpose of this particular open book test which we are conducted, which will be conducted for the 9th students from year 2026 to 2027 batches. Aim is ki bhai normal memorization se we will shift to analytical and application based studies. Now it is also important ki bhai ho sakta hai this thing will not be implemented for all the subjects. Some specific subjects ka there will be open book test, because for every subject I don't think so it will be a good idea or a possible idea, because number of teachers are scared that this particular open book test might lead to the decrease in the number. That means कि individuals के number कम होने के chances होते हैं, because there are very rare students which actually study very effectively, and it is also believed according to study that those students who are very melodious and who actually meritorious and who actually study very hard, I don't think so they will going to basically they will follow the same kind of a mugging of process. So there is also this open book depends not only on the initiative. This open book also depends ki how the student is taking this particular initiative, because majority of the people they know कि भैया अब वहाँ कौन time waste करेगा answers ढूंढने में. It's better कि मैं एक content अच्छा खासा mug up कर लूँ, एक content understand. If I'm understanding the concept, then I should at least learn that concept. Just give me a second. So that's why this is like, but the thing is here they are actually trying to work on the stress of the individual. So that's because majority of the peer pressure is increasing in the students, and majority of the students and kids are actually committing suicide because of the peer pressure and the study pressure. This is also one of the concerns. So we are actually trying to also reduce the exam stress of the students, because 9th के बाद the 10th class which we attain in our schools, that is the deciding part of our career. 10th में जिस तरीके से you will going to perform, from your performance it will be decided कि what will be your future subjects. So that's where 9th and 10th are one of the very crucial kind of phases of for individual school student. That's why we are actually experimenting different things so that we can understand what is better for the student skills and analysis. Now global scenario we have already discussed. Hong Kong has introduced this in 1953. Then studies UK USA में ही also this particular initiative is followed. Open book helps students to basically learn up on concepts. Then India perspective से बात करूँ, we have already discussed in 2014 CBSE launched a open book test assessment to steer students away from the rote learning. कहाँ था? It was applied on the same 9th class Hindi, English, Mathematics, Science and Social Science, and class 11th final exams for subjects like Economic, Biology and Geography. So if UPSC asks you, this is the first time which we are implementing this initiative, so answer is no. Already in 2014 we have come up with this particular initiative, but it failed, because of which we have rolled it back in 2017 and 18. Students were given reference material 4 months, यानी कि majority of the 11 students were given a reference material 4 months prior, so that एक idea लग जाए कि this is the reference and this is the context. So majority of the question will be asked from this particular area. But in my knowledge, I have not seen my like in this phase various of my cousins were part of this particular curriculum, or they were part of the NCBSC board, but I didn't saw these kind of open book tests recently. But abhi kahan follow ho raha tha, which school was following that, that's a different concept. But I also personally not saw this particular open book test which has been implemented from 2014 to 2017 or 18, and I think so you guys also not have must followed that or experienced this particular thing. Hello, am I audible beta? Just give me a second. Okay. चलिए, so what is the status? We have already saw if UPSC asked कि भैया in 2017-18 we discontinued. If UPSC asked this is the first kind of initiative, so answer is no. Sorry, we have already taken this in class 9th and 11th 2014, but now it didn't work. That's why we have rolled back it in 2017 and 18. Now again we are implementing it in 2026 and 27 batch. We will see how it will going to impact, but earlier it failed. What are the reasons? Because सबसे पहले one of the major reason is कि availability. Majority of the students in rural areas, they are not having the availability of the data and the content and the books. So how they are not even having a book, so how you can expect them to give a open book test? So this is also the problem because of the lack of resources and content and availability of the teachers. It's also one of the concern for implementing this particular initiative. Now it is believed that कि it is not that analytical which we expect it to be, because majority of the student they are just in a searching process कि कौन सी किताब में से क्या सर्च करूं. हालांकि there is a limited number of resources which is provided, but individual is still confused. So paper time में in that particular panic situation it is already we are in a very already in a confused state. अब उसके बाद भी are providing so much sources, so इस वजह से वो individual और ज़्यादा stress में आ गया, and this is also the reason result has been deteriorated. Now again we are experimenting. Okay, thank you guys. Now again we are experimenting for the same, so that is the concern कि भैया अब क्या होने वाला है. But still 2026-27 के बाद we will get an idea about this. Same यहाँ पे भी बहुत important है कि we should keep our resources very limited. That's why this initiative has said that कि चलो एक limited number of resources रहेंगे and we will make sure question is asked from there only. Same thing goes for UPSC also, because UPSC में भी if you study end number of books for one subject you will get confused. So it's better कि have a limited number of resources, focus on more and more revision rather than more and more collecting of books and making your house or study room a library. So always stick to 8 to 9 books which are very important and which are very enough for you to clear your examination. What you have to focus is on number of revisions. So the more the number of revision, the more the chances of scoring examination or clearing examination will increase. Now Mr. Elon Musk, he is one of the particular individual who is coming up with a different kind of initiative and very new kind of initiative. Now पैसा है तो भैया initiative आप ले रहे हो. First of all, he is also like a kind of Trump के तरह से, all the political reasons he was in news. Then he was again in news in India because of the क्या बोलते हैं initiative which has been launched. Tesla has been launched in India. The first car has been sold out of Tesla recently. Then SpaceX का initiative of International Space Station, because of that it was in news. Now again India and your Elon Musk is signing a contract or signing an agreement related to satellite Wi-Fi or satellite internet. अभी क्या होता है, majority of the us हमारे घर में जो इंटरनेट होता था, इंटरनेट विच इज इंस्टॉल्ड इन आवर हाउसेज, दैट इज समथिंग वायर या किसी तरीके से कनेक्टेड होता है. बट once we sign this agreement and when this satellite internet will come in the system, आपका जो वाईफाई होगा, that Wi-Fi will be directly connected to satellite, no wire, nothing. So first of all it will be very impactful for the disaster perspective, because majority of the time when any disaster or these calamities take place, the connectivity ends, जिसकी वजह से we are not able to connect with the authorities. So if we are connected with the satellite, so there will be no or less kind of a problem which says कि अच्छा there is a disaster जिसकी वजह से सारी तारें टूट गई हैं, because of which we are not connected to internet and the facilities. The problem will be resolved. But the second thing, the major negative impact of this is that a majority of the broadband services, the companies and the small individuals who are involved in this Wi-Fi business, उनका business चौपट हो जाएगा. That is the thing. So they also have to switch to the satellite based Wi-Fi, but it is a very positive kind of a thing. Now latency problem will resolve, because the way I am speaking here, मतलब देर इज अ गैप ऑफ ऑन एन एवरेज 50 सेकेंड्स. मैं जहाँ बोलती हूँ तो 50 सेकेंड्स के बाद इट इज गोइंग टू यू. दिस इज नोन एज लेटेंसी. अब एग्जैक्ट रियल टाइम डेटा और मॉनिटरिंग यू आर नॉट गेटिंग द डेटा. That's why this particular Wi-Fi, the satellite Wi-Fi will going to reduce the latency problem, because majority of the time मैं पहले बोल रही हूँ बाद में जा रहा है, so there is a communication gap also, क्योंकि मैं कहीं और पहुँच गई, at the end I have ended और मैंने session end कर दिया, I have ended the session, उसके बाद आपके पास वो content last का पहुँचा ही नहीं. Why? Because of the lack of latency. So latency की वजह से बहुत ज़्यादा issues होते हैं. That's why this satellite Wi-Fi will going to reduce the problem of latency as well. That's why this initiative will be a magical or will be a transforming in the Wi-Fi industry and very important from disaster management perspective. So Starlink, Elon Musk satellite internet services is set to enter India, marking a major shift in digital connectivity and strategic communication capabilities. Now it is also important because we India want to become 5 trillion economy, but we have different aspirations of that, and we want out of 5 trillion 1 trillion specifically dedicated to digital economy. So to fulfill that goal, our digital system should be very good. So that's why we can fulfill the aim of digital India. Rural area में there is a connectivity of Wi-Fi, because वहाँ तक अभी तक broadband services ही नहीं पहुँची हैं. So for it will also going to help the rural area. So this will going to be one of the most transforming kind of an initiative which you will see. Now what is satellite internet? Satellite internet is a wireless communication technology that delivers internet access via satellite in space instead of traditional cables or fiber optic lines. तो मैंने वही बताया कि इट्स अ प्रॉपर काइंड ऑफ अ सैटेलाइट सिस्टम, कोई वायर्स नहीं होंगी, द थिंग इज डायरेक्टली कनेक्टेड टू सैटेलाइट. फॉर एग्जांपल जीपीएस सिस्टम, the global positioning system which is of USA, it's directly connected to your satellite. तो आप जहाँ भी सर्च करते हैं without any Wi-Fi, अब आपको you don't have to put any wire in an XYZ device कि only then you can search the कि where you want to go, या what is the exact location. It's just connected with Wi-Fi, मतलब it's directly connected with satellite. So इस तरीके से your Wi-Fi का system will be directly connected to satellite, जिसके वजह से it will be real time monitoring, and we can also, it will, the biggest impact will be on the disaster or the rural enrichment. Now this is how it will be going to be work कि घर का Wi-Fi is directly connected to satellite and the authorities are managing this particular system. No wire, nothing. और वैसे ही इंडिया में वी आर एक्चुअली अपसेट विद दिस वायर कल्चर. किसी भी इंडिया की किसी भी यू गो टू एनी ऑफ द स्ट्रीट और एनी ऑफ द गली, एंड नंबर ऑफ वायर्स आर गोइंग थ्रू दैट पर्टिकुलर रोड, एंड it's either of a Wi-Fi, it's of a TV, and different connectivity ka there is a system. This will also going to resolve the problem of that, because every year a good number of people are died because of this electric wires which break down because of XYZ disasters and reasons, and people get electric shocks. So that's why this thing will also going to contribute a little bit on this particular problem, to reduce this particular problem of the society. अच्छा बेटा खुर्शीद, आर यू पार्ट ऑफ IAS Origin? Are you a student or a random student बेटा? If you're a random student, then you can take a screenshot. If you're not, then you will get the PPT. If you're part of IAS Origin, then you will get this PPT. Okay. Yeah, it can be tracked beta, but अभी तो we are focusing more on the connectivity part. अब तो हमारा अभी तो we can, in the internet time, we can hack anything. Now we are switching to the AI and the digitalization, but the concern is that we are moving towards cyber, but the major concern is that the cyber thing will not be successful until and unless you don't have a proper shield, मतलब proper shield related to a proper system which is there to basically curb the problem of the cyber security. So we are moving towards different initiative, but we also have to focus on the cyber security, because hacking is also increasing in our country. Now moving to the particular topic. Now this is very important. Please make sure you are understanding this particular concept, because this is very important. Okay, this is earth का outer layer, ठीक है. Majorly when we talk, जब आप satellites, when we launch satellites now, we launch satellites in 3 particular layers, imaginary layers around your earth, ठीक है. That is known as LEO, ठीक है, that is lower earth orbit. Then you have GEO, that is geostationary Earth orbit, and then we have MEO, that is medium Earth orbit. So geostationary Earth orbit, medium Earth orbit, and LEO Earth orbit. ठीक. First of all, we will discuss with GEO. GEO, that is your geostationary Earth orbit. अब ये orbit का जो distance होता है, that is around 35,786 kilometers. यानी कि in this much range from the Earth, we put some satellites, and which are the satellite which is placed in GEO, that is your INSAT, GX series, and these are some examples. Now the second is your MEO. आपके जो मीडियम रेंज में होते हैं, व्हाट इज द रेंज ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर सैटेलाइट्स? सो अप्रॉक्स 20,200 किलोमीटर. सो ऑन एन एवरेज इतने के बीच में दीज पर्टिकुलर सैटेलाइट्स आर पोजिशन अराउंड योर basically Earth. Now this is the third, LEO, that is lower orbit, low Earth orbit. That means somewhere near of the Earth. तभी तो Wi-Fi and satellite connection में it will be easy. So orbital altitudes from approx 160 to 2000 kilometers. So हमारे atmosphere के 160 to 2000 kilometers के बीच में the satellites are placed, that is known as low Earth orbit satellites. Example, Starlink satellite system, which we are actually which is actually going to enter in the India. It is placed approx 550 kilometer. So if UPSC asks you कि भैया this particular satellite internet or satellite internet system is present in MEO, so answer is no. It is present in GEO, so answer is no. It is present in LEO, that is low Earth orbit. Now if you see any of the satellite is launched, these three terminologies are used. Either it will be launched in LEO, either it is launched in MEO, or it is launched in GEO. Now hope so you will not get confused about the concept, because UPSC asks such questions in statement based. So just make sure कि भैया yes, this satellite internet is actually placed in LEO, that is having a range from 160 kilometers to 2000 kilometers, and this particular satellites will be placed in 550 kilometers. But the SpaceX is a private organization which is working for the space industry, but the biggest problem is also the thing is the space debris. Because of the number of satellites are launching very frequently, a bunch of satellites are basically present in the Earth, around the Earth orbit, because of which chances are there कि space debris is increasing. In future there are chances there will be end number of satellites which will be revolving around the countries, around the Earth. In future perspective they can also lead to space debris, and in future they can also, if some or because of any of the technical or natural issues, if they fall there in the Earth, it can also lead or hamper or affect the person who are living here. So it is also increasing the problem of space debris, which has been asked by UPSC mains examination of science and technology. So it is also increasing space debris. Now why satellite internet? Because it will going to help to provide the satellite information to the rural areas, remote areas, the areas which is facing your disaster ka issue. Let's for example in Harshal Valley currently there is a lack of connectivity. That part is disconnected from this side of the country. Let's say अगर इस तरीके का calamities आता है, there is a lack of electricity, no problem, but there should be a connectivity. अब एक particular section तक तो you provide electricity so that the authorities which are responsible for the rescue purpose, they can get the access. So if we provide electricity and along with that we also like electricity आने से ही you can have the Wi-Fi access. अब उसके लिए you don't have to work on the wires of the Wi-Fi differently. So that only by providing the electricity in the disaster areas to some of the authorities which is responsible for all this can help them to connect with the other part and work on the rescue part. So that's why this is a kind of a miracle for the, I'm repeating again and again because it will be very impactful for the disaster. So delivers internet to remote, rural and island communities where building terrestrial network is costly and slow. जैसे कि for example we are connecting Lakshadweep by optic fiber, we are providing Wi-Fi to your Lakshadweep via underground wire. So just imagine कि Lakshadweep is far away from the mainland India, so the process will be very slow. So Wi-Fi connectivity वहाँ तक पहुँचाना, it's a difficult task, and specifically from the ocean area, it is also specifically a different task. So that's why this particular satellite internet will also going to help us to connect to the remote islands which are present in our which is part of our territory. So restore communication quickly during the flood, during earthquake, cyclone or any kind of these infrastructure, provide stable internet. High altitudes, if there is any conflict, then we can also overcome with that, and it will also going to help in e-commerce, e-governance and telemedicines, because our governance is shifted from e-governance, and from e-governance we are shifting to m-governance. What is e-governance? Electronic governance. But electronic governance is not only fulfilled by laptop and computers. Current scenario में e-governance is fulfilled by m-governance. What is m-governance? So m-governance is mobile governance. So every digital facilities which is provided by Government of India to the citizens of India, majority of the people are having the access of that issue, that particular initiative or development or benefits on their phone. So we are switching from e-governance. E-governance will be only effective in our country if we are working on m-governance connectivity. So it will also be very useful for providing m-governance services, क्योंकि phone लेके क्या करूँगी if there is not an internet services. That's why this satellite will also going to help in the m-governance perspective. So it is also important from that particular area. What are the features? Oceans, desert, mountains, it will going to work everywhere. This is very important. In fact, your polar regions, both civilian and military can have the access. If military can also have the access, that means they are making it very advanced kind of a stuff, so that it is not easy to hack. It is not easy to interrupt. So that's why that means if it's open for both civilians and military, specifically initially it will be tested by the militaries only, then it will come to civilians. But yes, if it is actually open for civilians and military, that means कि they are making it a very highly security and sensitive kind of a data, मतलब sensitive kind of a technology. Activated within an hour, कोई भी connectivity का ज़रूरत नहीं होता. Majorly there is not a long process. Independently, it can work without any local cables, towers, avoiding any physical damage risk. Use thousands of satellites to lower the latency and ensure network redundancy, because majority of the time you also have faced the problem of latency. I have explained what is latency कि मैं यहाँ पे बोलती 1 मिनट पहले हूँ और बात मेरी जाती है 1 मिनट के बाद में. That is the latency. So 1000 number of satellites will be present around the Earth's surface, so that the latency problem can be reduced. They are not saying that totally it will be end. They are saying that it will going to be reduced. So if UPSC asks you, by using this satellite Wi-Fi or satellite internet, it will going to end the problem of latency, the statement will be wrong, because they are promising, it is saying that satellite internet will going to reduce, but there is no such extreme promises has been made. So please make sure UPSC asks such questions in the statement basis. So use thousands of satellites to lower the latency and ensure network redundancy. Application civilians can use, disaster management में it can be used, and defense purposes से it can be used in the battlefield purposes, क्योंकि battlefield में when we are using more and more technology, we can't say that कि gun लेके खड़े हैं, launchers लेके खड़े हैं, and we say that कि कहाँ से order नहीं, you can't get an order because there is a Wi-Fi issue. We can't say that. मतलब हालांकि that is a system, or totally different connectivity system is there. It is not easy to hack that system. Proper a different Wi-Fi system is there, but kind of a very lame kind of example to make you explain. That's why this particular technology is very useful for us also, for disaster management also, and for defense services as well. It will going to also help to improve the transportation, healthcare services and space economy. Obviously global trade बढ़ेगा, global tourism बढ़ेगा, people can explore more and more stuff. So that's why this is important for these particular sectors. Now, Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan. 2020 में we have came up with an initiative, that is Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan, that is related to drugs, and recently it has completed at 5 years, so it becomes important from paper perspective. Then recently we have also initiated a Kashi declaration, and Kashi declaration was also for the Nasha Mukt Bharat, that is related to drugs. So the youngsters which are involved in the drug thing, we can help them to rehabilitate and overcome with this particular drug issue. That's why this Nasha Mukt Bharat is actually important initiative, plus it has been completed 5 years. Then it was again in news because of the Kashi declaration, which we have already discussed. What is Kashi declaration and what are the different kind of acts which are working in our country for this drugs ka. But what is Nasha Mukt Bharat? This is the This Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan ke through we have connected on an average 5.5 CR youngsters. 5 lakh plus total activities has been conducted. 3.6 lakh villages has been covered under this initiative, and they have explained people ki why they should not be part of this and how they can be protected from this. Then a good number of women, 3.4 CR women have been reached under this program. So we have also helped women to come up with this drug problem, and we have also used women's for the, not use is not the word, but we have also take help of the women's for the awareness perspective. So ASHA workers is also one of the one who are involved in this awareness perspective or awareness program related to your drug, related to drug menace. Same majority of the women who were experienced themselves and who have experienced rehabilitated from this particular issue, they also work in the awareness program. So people participation was one of the major thing which helped a good number of success in this Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan, which has completed 5 years. So it is an anti-drug initiative which has been started to basically treat people, reach people and rehabilitate people who are basically associated or basically trapped in the drug or the drug related activities. So abuse through prevention, awareness, treatment and rehabilitation, focusing on the India most vulnerable district. So there are on an average 200 to 300 districts of India which are highly affected with this drone, and I am discussing again and again and again. We always, whenever we come about, when we think ki bhaiya drugs ke saath which state is mostly affected, so we always say Punjab. Then we say northeast, but the thing is that now the thing is changing. Punjab is not only the one, northeast is not only the one, Kerala is also one of the newest ground, and the concern is that 10 se leke 8 to 15 years of kids are highly who are prone to these drug activities in Kerala. Not only in Kerala but also in other part of the states, a good number of small kids, they are now consuming these drugs in different forms. So this is the concern for the country. Youngsters to chalo theek hai, that is the teenager, aap unki body mein bahut se they have a changes and they consider ki ye is tarike se this will be a cool thing and stuff thing, wo to aap unka ek alag concept hai. But the concern is that ki jo kids hai, the kids which are actually just in an initial phase of their life, वो अगर इन सब चीज़ों के लिए habitual हो जाएंगे, so chances are there कि in future their life will be destroyed. So that is the concern for us. So it was launched on 15 August 2020. That means कि कल, when if there is an Independence Day, same day we have launched this particular initiative. So it will complete at 5 years under Ministry of Social Justice and Government. What is the objective? Objective is to remove the use, reduce the use of this particular thing, work for awareness, work for education, involve youth, women and the different peoples who are part of this particular drugs, and help them, with the help of them, run the anti-drug campaigns, and it ensures that the individuals are actually not addicted from this particular drug. Now, which are the targeted districts? These are very important. Implementing in 272 high-risk district identified via National Service of Narcotics Department. So they have said that there are on an average 272 districts of India which is actually highly affected with this kind of a drug problem. Now, this is very important. What is the approach which has been used? So it's a three-pronged approach. What is the approach? Supply reduction. यानी कि आप जहाँ से ड्रग सप्लाई हो रहे हैं, you have to curb that particular center, you have to stop that resources. So that's why we have also worked on the international borders, because I have discussed it again and again कि India is a sandwich between two major hubs of opium growing countries, and that is your Golden Crescent and Golden Triangle. That is your Iran, Pakistan and Afghanistan, and here is Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia. These are the particular countries which are highly growing, and consumer and trafficking of drugs is taking place from this particular states, and we are sandwiched between these two. That's why the drug problem is highly prevalent in our country. So we are also working on the borders. We are working on the coastal borders so that we can stop the movement of drugs inside the country. And the second thing which we are working is demand reduction. How demand will reduce? So we are working on the rehabilitation. We are working on making students aware by the awareness campaigns. We are making individual to understand that this is not good. This is not something which is right. आप avoid करिए ये सब. A lot of podcasters are. अब आप बोलते हैं ना कि if you see the podcast culture has been increased, and lot of people have came out with different stories. Either it is related to health, politicians, or any kind of thing. Majority of the podcasters now using this it as a political platform. But these podcasters, if you see some kind of a good podcast, I'm not saying ki koi bhi podcast dekh lo, but there they are telling you about the drugs, how individual can come out with a drug problem. So there is a data also, they are also telling some genuine data also ki bhai which of the following students or which of the following states are highly affected with this, which is the age group. And the another hand, they are also coming up with the different kind of initiatives or different kind of suggestions from where these kids can come out of this particular drug ka problem. So if you see also these kind of podcasts, please suggest to the people who you think they are actually addicted. So I have shared with many of the people whom I personally know, and many of the people who have came out of this, because in staying in this particular area, we are associated with majority of the individual. Majority of the students who come here in Delhi for the UPSC preparation, why majority of the people are not able also, this is one of the reasons why they are not able to clear the examination, because a good number of people, aspirants, they also become victim of these drugs. So we have saw a various number of students, we have helped various number of students to come out of this addiction, but the problem is that it will still exist. Working alone will not going to work. So if you also see any people around you, please make sure you tell them ki bhaiya how to come up with this particular problem or to reach this particular numbers or areas which is working for initiatives, which is working for the Nasha Mukt Bharat. And the third thing is treatment, that is will be by your health department. Reduction ka kaam will be of Narcotics Control Bureau. So 3 agencies are also working. This is also very important. Reduction work will be done by NCB, that is Narcotics Control Bureau. Demand reduction will be done by your Social Justice and Empowerment, and treatment will be done by the Health Department. So 3 prolonged approach and 3 ministries are involved. So if UPSC asks you 3 prolonged approach done by Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, so answer is no. Every 3 approach will be taken by the different ministries and department, that is more important. Community based implementation, technology integration, mass mobilization, these are the initiatives. Like for example, Art of Living, majority of you must have heard about this. Art of Living, Brahma Kumari, then we have your ISKCON temple. So they have taken help of these authorities. Art of Living and your basically Brahma Kumari, they are also telling you about the positive things, how to be positive in the life, and what should be the habits of a positive life and a good life. Meditation, they focus on meditation, and ISKCON temple is also something which is telling to move towards positivity and spirituality. So that's why they are also having connection or partnership with these particular initiative to lead to the awareness initiative, to lead to the awareness related to this drug ka problem. Now ISKCON B is a conspiracy in our country, different theories which is related to ISKCON, because a good number of, I'm not saying a majority of the people, but a good number of people are youngsters who can become the future of the country, IITians and different individuals at their college level or at their school level. They have converted themselves into ISKCON, they have followed ISKCON and they are now totally part of that particular system, and now they are saying ki bhaiya everything is materialistic, we are happy with on the name of God, and they have left their studies. So this is also one of the concern. Following anything is very good, but because of that, if you are leaving everything, like sometimes it is also an excuse. Majority of the kids, they are actually making this ISKCON and these kind of spiritual thing as an excuse. So there is a specific data and debate on this, ki why majority of the kids nowadays, they are leaving their professions, they are leaving their particular studies, and they prefer these things as a escape mode. I'm not saying everyone is not genuine, but majority of the kids, they are also just escaping from this particular thing because they don't want to work, they don't want to study. So this is the concern for the society. Now rabies के बारे में we have already discussed yesterday about the stray dog initiative, but rabies as a disease is also very important. UPSC can ask you something or directly or indirectly in prelims which is related to this judgment also, or with related to rabies also, because there are a lot of disease which are in news, so rabies is also important. Now it's a zoonotic viral disease, just zoonotic viral disease hai. It is actually spread through via dog to different if we bite, if through saliva, through scratching. So by these particular means it actually spread from dogs to to the people. Now 99% of the carriers of these particular rabies diseases or rabies के जो viruses होते हैं, that is your dogs. 99% of the dogs, but 1% there are different animals also. So if UPSC asks you कि rabies is also all मतलब only done by the bite of the dog, so answer is no. 99% of the rabies cases can be seen in the cases of the dog bite or dog के साथ if there is anything, but other than the 1% is your cat, rabbit, these are also the particular animals, bats, which are also responsible for the rabies in the country. So it's a zoonotic viral disease. It's a zoonotic के बारे में we have already discussed. It's a very proper topic, proper 15 to 20 minutes has been dedicated on this. So zoonotic viral disease by a virus known as rabies virus, classified by WHO as a neglected tropical disease. Neglected tropical disease are the disease जो कि बहुत severe होती हैं, the disease which are very severe and mostly present on the tropic and subtropics region of the globe. So जो ज़्यादातर diseases which are present, there are deadly, kind of a deadly and very crucial disease, 22 to 23 kind of a disease which are known as neglected tropical disease. And what is the importance? They are presented on the tropical and subtropical regions of the earth. So that's why they are known as neglected tropical disease, that is NTDs. Now transmitter primary जो होता है, responsibility primary dog is responsible for this, but other carriers are cat, bat, raccoons, foxes, livestock, these are also responsible, but 99% is your basically dogs are responsible by bite, by scratches, saliva contact हो गया, any of the thing उनका किसी भी तरीके से if they have bitten you or touch किया या कुछ भी है, that मतलब in short उनका अगर कोई भी infected हुआ कोई भी चीज़, then that can lead to rabies. Now it's very important to take the injection of rabies within a second, despite सोचना कि बच्चा है. But the majority of the, yes I know, but majority of the pet lovers, majority of the dog lovers say that बच्चा है कोई नहीं नाखून लग गया. But this is not something which is right, because rabies के symptoms are not visible to 1 to 3 months. So in some people it can be visible in 1 month, but some people it can be visible in 3 months also. So they are a dead symptoms, and some people that is a dead symptom. But if once any individual is affected with rabies, then chances are high that 99% chances, majority of the organizations say 100%, but still I believe there is a 99% chances if someone is affected with rabies, it is a mortal disease, yani ki chances are very high ki individual will die. So that's why the rabies injections are very important. You should make sure कि भाई this is actually basically जैसे ही कभी ऐसा इंसिडेंट होता है, please make sure you are immune with these injections. Now virus remains dormant for days to months, commonly in 1 to 3 months, that's what we have told. Nervous system, it affects the whole nervous system, that's why this rabies actually leads to different phobia, water phobia, aerophobia, आप सांस लेने से डरने लगेंगे. So different phobias are created जो कि बहुत ज़्यादा डरावनी होती हैं, plus it can also lead to paralysis. So because your nervous system is damaged, so it can also lead to your body paralysis, that is also the concern of this rabies. So nervous system, virus travels by peripheral nervous system to brain, fatal outcome, one system appears, death is almost certain. So एक बार if someone is affected with rabies, chances are very high that individual will die. Symptoms are early fever, headache, tingling, wounds के आसपास you will feel not good feel. What are the causes? Hyperactivity, hallucinations होने लगते हैं, hydrophobia, aerophobia, excessive saliva. These are the particular individual. 100% if not treated, then it can lead to the deadly. It is a deadly diseases. Majorly children from 5 to 14 years are the most vulnerable. Fatafat we will discuss the other article. First time in Indian history we have actually क्या बोलते हैं concluded basically a Asia Rugby Under-20 Championship. First time other than cricket or different initiative, we have conducted a rugby का game, that is very important initiative, and वो भी कहाँ पे, that is in Rajgir Sports Complex, Bihar. So our women team has won a bronze medal, that is also very important because UPSC have started asking questions from this area. So first ever international rugby tournament has been hosted by Bihar. Mascot was Ashoka the rabbit. Countries China, Hong Kong, UAE, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Nepal, and hosted by India. China won Men's category में Hong Kong won the gold, Malaysia claimed bronze. Women's में China won the gold and India secured the bronze by defeating Uzbekistan. So this area is important from state services perspective also, but it is also equally important from UPSC, because UPSC have started asking from sports, and rugby for the first time it held in the country. So it is very important ki what is the scenario. Who is the mascot? So Ashoka the rabbit was the mascot. Who won this show? Who won this particular initiative? So these are the initiative. Now this is also very initiative. Assam will establish 10 new core districts. Core district to make essential services more accessible and enhance welfare delivery. Now, majorly Assam is a big state. So what we do, we actually, for the better functioning and governance, we divide districts. ठीक है, like for example UP में there are 75 districts, so now they are again planning to divide some districts. So that is basically कि आप divide करते हैं district for the development of that particular area. But core district is not officially you are making a new district. Core district में you are administrative purpose से you are dividing a particular district in small area, and different magisterial level जो officers है that will going to work for the functioning. So core district is one of the CODISTRICT. So core districts is also one of the major initiative to basically provide services to the people where it is not reachable easily when they are part of big districts. So that's why this core district, Assam will establish 10 new core districts to make essential services more accessible and enhance welfare delivery, and Assam is India's first state. That is why it is very important, क्योंकि ये पहला राज्य है. Assam, India's first state to adopt the core district model in 2024 with 39 units. Now again Assam is coming up with a 10 more better service delivery. Core district, smaller administrative units under parent district for decentralized governance. Objective is to improve the grassroots governance. Administrative एक्सरसाइज जो आपके मैजिस्ट्रियल लेवल पे रहेंगे, यानी कि जो ब्यूरोक्रेटिक ऑफिसर्स रहेंगे, दैट विल बी रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर द फंक्शनिंग ऑफ द डिपार्टमेंट एंड jurisdiction. So that's all. These are the important topics which we have to discuss today. Already the time has been done. Another session will going to start. But yes, these articles are very important. Please follow the articles, and it is equally important from prelims and mains perspective. All the best. Take care.